and welcome to Zig Zag's Water, Air and Land headquarters. Changing the environment can make people very angry. Not everybody agrees with the ways we wish to change our world. Balancing the needs of people and the needs of the environment can be difficult. Whenever we change our world, it seems as if there will always be winners and losers. Our need for fuels to make energy means materials like oil are brought long distances by sea. We try to make sure that this is done safely, but it can be a recipe for disaster. Leo Brightmore goes to Milford Haven to report on one such disaster.
Coastal path. It runs all around the southwest corner of Wales. And boy, am I getting lots of exercise. The wind from the sea blowing in my face, and the scenery is breathtaking too. But in February 1996, something happened just over there that threatened to spoil this wonderful place forever. The huge oil tanker, called the Sea Empress, ran aground on the rocks, spilling its poisonous cargo into the sea and threatening the coastline for miles around. The Sea Empress was coming here to Milford Haven in Pembrokeshire, a large natural harbour which is ideal for oil tankers. The oil is pumped to nearby refineries and used to make petrol for our cars and many other important products. But this useful substance can be very harmful to the environment. These children are from Dale, a little village near where the Sea Empress ran aground. They remember it all very well. Me, my sister and my mum had just come home from shopping. We switched on the telly and heard that the oil tanker crashed in Pembrokeshire. First of all, they were trying to pull the ship off the rocks, and I remember that there were helicopters going overhead and the tugs were trying to pull it off. It was getting to be a dangerous situation because they thought that the oil tanker was going to explode, so the people that lived nearby had to come down and stay in our village hall. It's very sad because the birds were coming in covered in oil and the seals were dying, and the RSPCA came down to bring some birds back to wash them off and then brought them back down to the beach. My mum worked in a pub and shop, and it affected her business pretty bad because the people didn't want to come down here because they're frightened of the oil. The local councils in the area mounted a big clean-up operation to get rid of the oil from the tourist beaches, and they've been very successful. But close by the oil terminals are important wildlife reserves. I asked naturalist Margaret Brooks to tell me how they've been getting on. She explained why this place is so special.
The amazing thing about this area is that it has some 750,000 seabirds, but also we have breeding gray seals and porpoises and dolphins.
What's been the effect on the wildlife?
Well, we know immediately during the oil spill that we had lots of seabirds and waders and wildfowl that were directly affected by the oil. But on places like Scummer Island, we're trying to study the longer-term effects of the wildlife and what the impact the oil had on it.
The Sea Empress disaster didn't just affect wildlife, it affected people too. Mark Jones is a fisherman. Let's go talk to him and find out how it affected him. Hi.
Hello, how's things?
When the disaster happened, what did you think?
At the time I thought, oh, that was it. That was the end of the fishing and the boat would be up for sale and, you know, basically all finished.
Are things as bad as you thought they would be?
Well, like I say, we're back fishing now, which is the most important thing. So, you know, as long as I'm back on the water, you know, I'm happy.
So although things do seem to be getting back to normal, we still don't know what the long-term effects of the oil spill will be. The Sea Empress was coming here to the Texaco refinery when it hit the rocks. This is Mr. Lloyd. He's a manager at Texaco. Mr. Lloyd, what are you doing to make sure there isn't another Sea Empress disaster?
We've looked at what happened with the Sea Empress in great detail, and we do that for every incident, no matter how big or how small. And then having studied that, we look at the procedures and practices we have in place to make sure that we minimize the risk of that ever happening again.
We take oil for granted, don't we? It's hard to imagine life without it. But a disaster like the Sea Empress reminds us how damaging it can be to the environment. If we don't take proper care with oil, then everybody loses out. The wildlife, the people who work and live here, and serious walkers like me. See ya!
We all like to visit the countryside. It's great fun to walk, picnic and ride bikes. But what effect do we have on the places we visit, and how do local people feel about us being there? In Derbyshire's Peak District, Hayley Davis is enjoying the fresh air and finding out.